So if you're stuck at a few $1,000s a month in your residential lawn care business and you're wondering how guys are hitting $20,000 a month without buying extra equipment and trucks and trailers and putting out more crews on the road, you're in the right place. We're going to talk about it in this video. In this video, we're going to talk about scaling the smart way, of maximizing the assets that you already have. And if you do this correctly, at this point in your business, this little life cycle of your business, you can stack up some serious cash. Stick around to the end because at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how you can get direct coaching from me. If that's something you would like to do, I am offering that one-on-one now. The first thing that we need to talk about whenever you are scaling from $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month is route density, and I want to make a few points about this. Now, if you haven't watched the first video of how to go from $0 a month to $10,000 a month, this is that video right here, so make sure you check it out so you're on the same page. But once you've hit that number, how do you scale from $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month? The first thing is truly concentrating on your route density. Lawn care business owners intuitively know how important route density is, but I want to offer you a perspective that you may not have thought about before. If you will switch your mindset a little bit, I think you will be all in on doing whatever it takes to build as many lawns right beside the lawns you're working on as possible, all right? You have to be all in for route density. I want to explain to you a couple reasons why it's so important. The first is whenever you have limited assets, okay? We're not talking about buying extra trucks and trailers and stuff. You have a certain amount of assets. The amount of money that you can make is limited to your overall capacity, okay? Now, route density is so important because not only are you able to do lawns right beside each other, and that of course makes it more profitable, but what it does is it opens up time on the back end of your day, and that's very important to understand. For example, if you are kind of driving around a little bit and you can do 10 to 12 lawns a day, but if you're able to go into a neighborhood and do 5, 6, or 7 lawns at a pop, now you can easily do 20 lawns a day. By minimizing the drive time and the non-billable time, not only are you making more money per hour on a basis because you're not driving away and you're driving out all that non-billable time, but secondarily, you're opening up more production on the back end of your day, okay? You can do more volume. So to stay lean and mean and hit 20,000, you have to have really tight routes and you have to have good volume. And having those tight routes allows the volume to open up on the back end of your day. There are so many times whenever I'm out working with my crew and I look over and I'll see another lawn care company come in and then cut a lawn and then drive out of the neighborhood, and we have done 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 houses, and like we've cut 7 houses in the time that they have cut one and drove to the next one. So not only are you making more money on the lawns because you're there already, you're opening up more volume, more production capacity on the back end of your day because you're so efficient. Do you know what happens whenever you're doing all these lawns together? You make a lot of money, all right? And whenever you make a lot of money, you know what you can do? You can hire somebody and you can pay them really well, which is what we're going to talk about in point 2. The first mindset shift that you have to get over is that whenever you hire somebody, this is not a loss, okay? This is not a step backwards. You have to reframe the way you're thinking about this to think this is a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful investment. Why? Because now instead of doing those limited amount of yards a day, you bring on somebody else, and here's the kicker. You don't have to buy any more trucks, trailers, or equipment, all right? This equipment over here, this is very important to understand. The equipment that you have is limited by you. You are the bottleneck. You add a second guy, you unleash the power of this equipment, okay? If you add a third guy, you unleash the power of this equipment. This equipment over here, it can be far more productive than you can by yourself, and you have to understand that. The equipment is capable of far more than you can do alone as a solo guy. So now you bring on somebody who's not interested in running their own business, but they're a great employee, they're good at cutting grass, they want to be paid a really good wage, and they don't want to manage a business. You can take their time, pay them a really good wage, and leverage the amount of money that you are charging. So if you being solo, if you are billing yourself out at $80 or $100 an hour, what happens whenever you add a second guy? That is another person to bill out at $80 or $100 an hour. So now you're at $200. What happens if you had a third? The exact same thing. This is how you leverage labor and scale. And the thing that is so important about this is I want to remind you that by simply adding labor, you don't have to add a dime of more debt from your equipment, from your trucks, from your trailers, from your mowers, your string equipment. You have all this production capacity with these assets, and you're not fully utilizing them until you can bring on somebody. The takeaway here is that hiring help and hiring employees, it is not an expense, okay? It is not going backwards. This is a wonderful investment in your company. You are leveraging additional time. Number 3, and this is the key takeaway from this video, is that whenever you start scaling up and making more and more money, this is the opportunity for you to just hunker down, put your head down, go to work. Block out all the other distractions. Block out the tendency to want to go get another truck. Block out the tendency to take on more debt and buy equipment that you don't need, okay? Block out the tendency to inflate your lifestyle. Block out the tendency to add on all these unnecessary expense. You're in a wonderful, wonderful position right now. You have these assets that you have built route density around. You have started leveraging more people's time. Don't screw it up by going and getting in a big old pile of debt. Hammer down for 1 to 2 years at this moment right here. And if you will hammer down for 1 to 2 years, this is where you can actually gain ground. All right, you talk about getting ahead. This is where I got ahead in my business. In about year 2 or 3, whenever I realized, okay, we can do this with recurring revenue, no extra projects, simply mowing by the existing trucks and trailers and assets that we have. All I have to do is add on 1, 2, or 3 people. We can leverage this, easily hit $20,000 a month. This was an opportunity for us to just laser in and just really get ahead. And I tell you what, that was a pivotal moment in my business whenever I saw my bank account go straight up. The key takeaway from point 3 here is whenever you start scaling and you hire that additional help, like you realize how important the route density is. The key takeaway here is this: do not start inflating your lifestyle. Do not start inflating cost and expenses because if you'll just put your head down and just go to work right here at this point for 2 or 3 years, and you'll make more than $20,000 a month if you're laser focused. But if you will just avoid the trap of taking on too much, you can truly get ahead, and this is a fantastic opportunity to just really get yourself in a good position. If you will just go all in on route density, never walk away from a property without putting your 5-arounds around, but with talking to the neighbors, lettering your truck. I see guys all the time, man, they're pulling up in neighborhoods, no lettered truck, they look sloppy when they get out of they don't even talk to people, they just do the lawn and then drive away. Like, what is the point in that? Like you're missing the entire opportunity. Like the potential of this industry is by grouping lawns together. And if you don't put maximum effort into doing that, like, I literally can't help you. Like, it's that important. Like, you have to get that first thing checked off. And people talk about it all the time. I want lawns beside each other. I want lawns, but they never do anything. They never talk to neighbors, man. They never letter up their truck. Like, they never go out of their way to knock on people's doors. Like, it's not important enough. Like, it doesn't sink in like how it can change your business. But if you will do that, if you will start hiring help and then like avoid the tendency to overextend yourself, $20,000 a month, man. Let me tell you, you can get ahead whenever you're making $20,000 a month. And I remember thinking when I wrote on that whiteboard the first time, I want to make $10,000 a month, and then I just worked it backwards, and I did it, and I said, well, if that worked, I want to make $20,000 a month, and I started working it backwards, and I was like, that works. You know what I did next? I sat down at the whiteboard and I said, I want to make $50,000 a month in my lawn care business. If you want that video, let me know. I will post it and I will tell you what we did to take our existing operation from $20,000 a month and scale it to $50,000 a month. Ending encouragement. Drop a comment if you are hitting $10,000 a month right now, if you are creeping up over that, or if $10,000 is still the goal, or if you're shooting for $20,000 a month this year. If you're already in that $20,000 a month number and you want the how do we go to $50,000 a month, again, drop a comment down there, tell me you want the video, and I'll tell you how I did it. It was a little unconventional, and it's probably different than what you're thinking. Look, man, you can absolutely do this. That is the beautiful thing about this industry, is that if you will just do the things that you have to do, you can truly get ahead, man. If you want to join us in Turf Bros Academy and kind of like streamline this whole process, feel free to join us in Turf Bros Academy. If you want a coaching call with me, I'm very, very happy to be able to offer that now. There is a link down in the description where you can book a 1-hour coaching call with me. But regardless, I hope you will continue learning and continue going through my videos and just keep the enthusiasm enthusiasm and like keep the encouragement. This really is a wonderful industry to be in, and I'm truly here to help any way I can.